Hi, I'm Jerry James Stone, and I'm super thrilled for today's episode because not only am I going to make you this delicious recipe, but I also have a special guest. For those of you that are familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race, I have Bianca Del Rio. She was the season 6 winner. For those of you that aren't familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race, well, you're about to be because I have her here. We're going to FaceTime in and we're going to sit back and chat, and then we're going to make some delicious food. So let's get to it. First, let me try to contact her, okay? So I'm just going to shoot her a text and see if she's ready to chat. Actually, just waiting for her to respond. Ah, there she is. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let me just bring her up on FaceTime and I'm going to start talking to her. Hey, Roy, thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited for this interview. Is it weird if I call you Roy or Bianca? I mean, what's preferred?
It doesn't really matter to me. There was a time when I was concerned about it, but then I said, it only matters when they write my name on the check. So it's all good. Now I'm Bianca Del Rio LLC, so you can call me whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't bother me.
Okay, cool. Got it. Got it. I was rooting for you on season 6, which it's kind of funny that you won only in the sense that whoever I vote for never seems to win. I should never bet on horses.
Well, you're not the first person to tell me that. I had groups of people that I've met since then that were like, I was the only one in the house rooting for you. Everyone else hated you. And I was like, thanks, and fuck your friends. But it's kind of interesting that that's how it was. But, I've said it before, and it bears repeating that I was in really, really great company with Courtney Act and Adore Delano. So any of us could have won. They're brilliantly talented, and it was a great experience to be with them. If I was up there with some horrible queens, I think it would be a different ball of wax. But they were brilliant, so I wouldn't have mind losing to any of them because they were really great.
I don't actually have any friends, so I just watch the show with a bottle of wine by myself.
That's the way I do it.
So I hear you're a wine fan, which makes me want to make this Bianca-inspired sangria. But what things do you like to eat? What are your favorite foods?
Sure. Well, I mean, for me nowadays, the most eating and drinking I do is on a plane. So I'm not that picky when it comes to wine, whatever Delta offers. And Delta's been amazing to me. So I got to give a big shout out. Thank you, Delta Airlines. You've been impeccable. I am a Diamond member at this point. So I do enjoy my upgrades and my cheap liquor. So sangria is perfect because is it with sangria, you can use any kind of wine, right? You can use red or white, cheaper the better, right?
Yes, sangria was definitely created for cheap wine. It makes any wine, good or bad, good. I prefer using a better wine. I think a better wine means better sangria, but we'll use whatever you want. Do you like white wine or do you like red wine?
Well, it varies, but sangria, I love red. But, I never turn down liquor. So anything you want is fine. It doesn't really, I'm not that picky.
So sangria is loaded with fruit, and this kind of feels like a loaded question, but what are some of your favorite fruits?
When
There's Michael, there's Chris. I like, let's see, I like pineapple, obviously, but I think sangria is best with apple. Don't they have a lot of apples in sangria?
they do.
Usually after the first sip, I'm so drunk, I don't know what the fuck's in there, but I'm good. I'm good with any fruit. Whatever's gonna make it tasty. I'm not that picky.
Okay, so since you like white wine, I'm thinking pineapple. You mentioned that you like that, and that's always a great thing to pair with white wine. White wine always has those wonderful citrus flavors. How about a not today Satan sangria? How does that sound?
Well, yeah, it's only, you say not today after you drank it all night. So yeah, it worked that well.
So what's coming up next for you? You took the crown from Jinx Monsoon, which in my head, when I think about that, it's that scene from Showgirls where Elizabeth Berkley pushes Gina Gershwin down the stairs. It's something like that, right?
Well, the advantage to winning after Jinx was she was already on the floor drunk, so it was easier to take the crown because she's a lush. But it's been wild. It's one of those things where it's a huge process. To get on the show, to film the show, the time you wait before the show airs. So literally, it's been almost 3 years for the process. So it comes in spurts. You get on, you're excited. You finally film it, you're excited. You have to wait 9 months before it airs. You're excited. It airs. You're excited. It ends, and you're so fucking happy that it's through airing because you're not dealing with speculation anymore. As I said, anybody could have won, but I was just happy they picked a winner because people in your face and social media was nuts. Everybody had to tell you what they thought and what they think it's going to be. So it was great. It was a huge relief to have it done. But I traveled extensively. I said yes to every gig that came my way. So literally right now, I've had 2 weeks off, which has been insane because I haven't had that off since the show started airing, which was February 2 years ago. So it's been a wild ride. I've been grateful for all of it. It's been quite lovely. And in that time, I've traveled the world. I did my show, Rolex of Hate, which we did 93 performances everywhere, Vienna, Australia, London, Manchester, England, all over the United States. Filmed a movie in the same time frame. Um, and did a lot of club gigs. And so now I've had a minute to regroup. I'm starting my new show, Not Today Satan, premiering in Australia at the end of May. And then we're doing Amsterdam, doing Norway, and then we're announcing I'll be doing a lot of cities in the United States, 39 cities in the US this fall. So I'm excited about that. The movie comes out this summer, which is great. And I have some other secret projects in the works. I'm just grateful for all of it. It's been a wild ride, and I can't believe this much time has passed.
So how long have you been a vegetarian?
It's been about, I think, since Drag Race. I'd come back from Drag Race when I was filming. Courtney Act is a vegan, which basically means pain in the fucking ass. But she was on set, and it was interesting. We couldn't talk to one another about it because we're not allowed to speak to one another when unless the cameras are on, which is a little Drag Race secret that I don't think people realize. So you kind of quarantined. But I was fascinated by the fact that why she didn't do it. And she's, Miss Animal Activist, and she's this and she's that. And I'm like, look, I do my part for animals. I wear fake fur and got 2 dogs, but I didn't get wrapped up into it till I was in New York soon after filming, and I had gotten really bad food poisoning. And I didn't feel so well. And of course, I love documentaries, and I was on Netflix and got all wrapped up in 2 documentaries about being a vegetarian and being a vegan. And I knew I couldn't be a vegan because it's too much fucking work. And I realized how annoying it is to go to dinner with Courtney Act. So I said I couldn't do that. But I thought, well, let me try. I wasn't a big meat lover, but I thought, let me just go ahead and take a break from it and see how I feel. And I was 39, 40 at the time, or 38 or whatever it was. And I felt a huge difference. I felt much lighter. I didn't feel as groggy. And with the travel that I was doing, I found that it added extra weight to me. And this just made me feel a lot better. And I really haven't missed it. Now, on occasion, when you're in another country and you can't eat, they don't have many veggie options. I've gone for a chicken something, but it's nothing that I've gone crazy about. It hasn't been, oh my God, I need it. I don't feel like it's missing from my life. And I just felt better.
So you're kind of like a Kinsey 5 on the vegetarian scale.
I don't eat chicken. I don't ever order it unless I'm truly at a point when there's nothing else on the menu, or I've eaten every fucking salad there is. But I try not to. I don't cook it. Like I said, sometimes you're on that Delta flight and that's all they got. But it varies. But I don't crave it, so to speak. Yeah. And I feel better about it. And you get drunk faster. So it's perfect.
Yeah, I've been a vegetarian since 1987. Traveling when you're veggie is definitely hard. And I was in NOLA, and you're from there, right?
Hometown. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Do not care about you and your situation. They could give a shit. They're like, listen, we have some of the best food in the world, and you can drink all day on the street for 24 hours. Fuck you. That's what you get.
So I love your sense of humor and your lack of political correctness. And so I'm hoping you indulge me a bit here, and you'll read a few people here on during this interview.
Well, I mean, currently right now with all this election bullshit, they're kind of reading themselves. It's a hot fucking mess. I mean, you can't make this shit up.
Okay, so I'm going to throw some names at you, and you just give me your full Shady read, okay? You ready?
Nobody ever asked to hear me. Usually it just happens, and then they go, oh, great. Rarely do they actually want me to say something.
Donald Trump. Go for it.
No, a complete hot mess, but it is fascinating. And most people are like, oh, we should be concerned about him. Like, no, we should be concerned that the people think that he's right. That's the fucking problem. I mean, he is fucking insane. But I recently was in London, and it was quite fascinating that some people said, you know what? If he becomes president, y'all deserve it. And I'm like, you know what? It's kind of funny. Someone had written, it wasn't me, but it was so genius. Someone said Donald Trump is basically the comment section of your Facebook as a person. It's everything that's wrong with the world. I'm fascinated by all of it. I'm fascinated that he's gotten this far, but it does say something about our country. There's a lot of fucking stupid people in it.
I thought Obama being president would bring all these racial issues to the surface in America, having our first black president, but oddly enough, it's this really white guy, Donald Trump, who's doing it. What do you think about that?
Douchiest guy ever. Yeah. I mean, aside from, if you find his political views to be good, that's one thing, but he's just a fucking douche. Just a big old douche. No way around it. I can't stand him. Before he even ran for president, just his pompous attitude is just so disgusting. And the man, does he ever use chapstick? Does he ever fucking use chapstick? I, if you look at him, he looks like Angela Lansbury's vagina that's talking, just dry and withered and hair that's not the right color. It's gross.
Okay, seriously, I'm gonna be haunted by that image for years.
Let me give you another shady one. If you think about it, Paul McCartney has had so much surgery, he's starting to look like Angela Lansbury. Not her pussy, but her face. Think about it. They look practically the same.
Okay, so Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, you know what? This piece of shit. Listen, Republican woman, rich, out of touch, not a part of my world. They always ask drag queens, how do you feel about it? I fucking hate her. I hate her because she goes out and she buys all size 13 shoes that I can't get. That's bullshit. She's got money. She should have custom shoes made and leave those size 13s for us cheap, broke ass drag queens in the world. That's what's shady. That's what's shady. No, I just think I think it's an interesting topic. You say the wrong thing. Oh, you're transphobic. Oh, listen. I just don't like her as a person. I just can't relate to it. I don't like the Kardashians. I don't like her. It's like I'm sick of hearing about it. I can't relate to her at all. I've had many transgendered friends that are a hoot, that are fabulous, that are fun, that are far more educated and articulate, and I don't find her to be one of them. So I'm fascinated by the fact that, it's shoved down your throats and all you have to do is hear about it, but yet really can't relate to them. And I know Candace Kane, I love Candace Kane, and we're friends. So it's quite fascinating, but she's got to make a dollar too. So if she's got to fake this relationship, God bless her, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There's been many chances given to her on every level. And, they were supporting her when she decided to do all the things that she wanted to do with herself, which I think commend. Wonderful. Great. You're at that age and you figure out what you want to do with your life. That's fabulous. But taking so many steps back and so many times you're like, what the fuck did you just say? And it's almost that you sit back and go, how can you even defend that? Because she can't relate to our world or to the transgendered people I know that are struggling, that have a different life. And not that that's wrong. I just think, shut up, go be a woman, leave the spotlight, go do your thing. God bless you. But by no means are you an advocate, and by no means are you a role model at all. Well, she can't walk in heels.
Bob the drag queen.
Bob is a good friend of mine. Bob's a very good friend of mine. We've worked together many times in New York. Very smart, very funny. Watching her on the show, I just wanted to shut the fuck up sometimes. She needs to take that purse and shove it in her fucking mouth. That would be helpful. But it is interesting because, after you've gone through the process of the show and experienced it, to watch it now is kind of interesting because I know Bob as a person, as I said. So it's fascinating to see it unfold. I also know Derek Barry as a person, but if I didn't know either one of them, it is interesting to see what's presented, so he's very talented and very funny. And I'm curious to see how it all turns out. Today's Monday. So with each episode, your views of someone changes. And I experienced that when I was doing the show. Everyone hated me in the beginning. And then they all of a sudden, I was rooting for you the whole time. So the last few episodes are going to make a huge difference for the remaining cast because so much can happen in this period of time because they've gotten rid of so many people. So now you're looking at what, 6 people? Is it 6 that are left now? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now is when it gets really serious. Now you get to see them for what they are and the turn of events. So I'm looking forward to it because even though I know him, it's going to be interesting to see what takes place.
No, I totally agree with you.
If you didn't think he was funny, he will tell you he is funny. So that's that.
Awesome.
Right. Awesome. She will remind you.
Okay, so if someone wanted to get on Drag Race, what would your recommendation be for getting on the show? It's
a trap. Don't do it. No. It's, I wish I had an answer to it. It's a huge process. I've had friends of mine that have auditioned, every season and it never happened. I auditioned once and got on. So there really is no formula to it except follow the rules and do it. I did hear once from production that if you've auditioned several times to make a new video each year, not to use the same video, to try to make it better. And the demands are high. There's a lot of queens that audition. for the show. But most people think that once you get on it, that you've got it made. And actually, it's 10 times harder when you're there because it's not like you're doing what you do. You're asking to be judged by people. So if you go on, you can't go, oh, fuck her. I don't want to hear what she has to say. Well, you signed up for this, asshole. So yeah, it's a part of the process, you douche. And notice the only people who ever complain about the editing are the people that lost. So, if you don't say it, then they don't have the footage to use against you, you idiot.
Okay, so thank you, Bianca. This has been so much fun, but I want to make sure that people can see you. So if people watching this video want to come check you out, where do they go to look?
Yeah, everything social media is the Bianca Del Rio. And the reason why it's the is because there was some transgendered girl that had the same name in Texas. I can only imagine the hate mail that bitch is getting. But so it's the Bianca Del Rio on Twitter, the Bianca Del Rio on Instagram, thebiancadelrio.com has all of my tour dates. The US dates haven't been announced yet, but they're going to announce it within the next month. So I'll be sharing that. The movie comes out this summer, which if you have any information about that and upcoming events, you go to hurricanebianca.com. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be filming the finale of season 8. So we'll be filming that here in Los Angeles. So you'll get to see me there. And there's a couple of surprise upcoming things that are be featuring soon, but all updates are usually on my website.
Okay, thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna go get started on this sangria. I think you're really gonna love it, and hopefully I'll get to make it for you sometime.
Actually, send it to my assistant because I don't cook shit. Even wine, I'll fuck it up. My recipe would be chug the wine and then drink a fruit cocktail. That's what I would do. I mean, just because it sounds sangria-ish.
Okay, but only if you text me the photos.
Always. Find something good to cook. We'll make it happen. Thank you so much.
So there you have it. That was Bianca Del Rio, and it was like super cool to talk to her. I'm really glad that she hung out with us. And now I'm going to show you how to make this delicious sangria. So let's get to it, shall we? So the inspiration for this sangria just comes from Bianca's personality, which is, obviously so vibrant and so fun. So Bianca, being a Latin origin, I'm stuffing in some chopped cilantro here. I'm gonna put this in a mason jar. Then we're gonna put in some sliced serrano chilies. And we're just gonna infuse this into white wine because Bianca likes white wine. And then let this sit for a couple hours. Okay, now we're gonna strain out the infused booze. Just pour that in here. Add in some bourbon. And as always, I'll put the exact measurements in the show notes. And if you want to sweeten this a bit, you can add some white grapefruit juice to it, but basically now you just want to let it chill in the fridge. Now we're just going to add the fruit for this sangria because it's not sangria unless you have some fruit in there. I'm adding in pineapple and strawberries. Pineapple, she said, was her favorite, so we wanted this sangria to be kind of inspired by her. We have bourbon, since she's from New Orleans. We have cilantro and serranos, and she's Latina. And we have her favorite fruit. So this is gonna be really good. I always add my fruit at the last moment because it's just gonna get mushy the longer it's in the wine. So I think now we're ready to serve it. Just serve it over ice. Make sure you get all that fruit in there. How great does that look? I think Bianca will be proud. After you add in the remaining fresh fruit, let's just garnish it with a little fresh cilantro and some sliced serrano chilies. And there we have it, this delicious white wine bourbon sangria. It's super easy to make, pretty darn tasty, and I think it totally captures Bianca Del Rio. It has white wine, which she loves, bourbon, which is, she's from NOLA, so that's totally the South. A little serrano chili for the Latina in her, and her favorite fruit, pineapple. I hope to make it for you sometime, Bianca. Until then, if you like this interview, you should totally check out my other ones. I have Ed Begley Jr., one of my favorite environmentalists. I have Larry Smith from Orange is the New Black, like how crazy is that? And Thor, also from RuPaul's Drag Race, but she's on season 8. So until next time, okay? Cheers.